Hey folks, Kevin here. Well, it's March 26, 2020, and I've been getting an increased number of calls lately about perennial plants and when to plant plants and all, because right now we've listed on Craigslist and we're selling some of our berry plants as well. Getting warm in here. So I thought I'd spend a couple of minutes and talk a little bit about what I think are important things to consider with planning for putting your perennial plants in the ground. So all summer long and all winter long, you can be doing lots of planning and preparatory work for the sites. Once you've done the planning and know what the plant needs, what soil it likes, you can go ahead and do the prep for those sites during the summertime and during the winter months. If you're in big snow load areas, it'll be tougher during the winter months. You do mostly planting. The time to plant or transplant perennial plants is when they're not leafed out and when their buds have not opened up yet. If they're a flower producing one first, if the flowers emerge before the leaves, it's really tough because there's lots of energy going to producing the leaves and lots of energy going to producing the flowers. So the two best times to get those plants in the ground are early spring, when you can up here in the cold north, when you can break when the ground isn't frozen anymore and you can dig a little bit. And that's a good time to see, is that area too wet and all, but planting ahead of time is best. But getting those plants in the ground before they leaf out or before the flowers come out, both of those things. I know it's really tempting to wait for them to go on sale at the big box stores and all, or in the nurseries when they're all leafed out and they look beautiful. That's the time to take pictures and do planning and maybe think about this coming fall, after the leaves, after the tree or the bushes have gone dormant. That's the time. They don't look as impressive, but it's less stress on them. A couple of key things that I think that people don't think about with perennial plants. So perennial plants are those plants that you plant once, and if under the appropriate conditions and put in the right geographic and climate location, they're going to keep coming back year after year. So as a result of their longevity, living for many years, each year they're doing more root development and growth. So they're doing some mining of the soil. They're really getting really deep-seated roots down, whether they're a wide-spreading root system like blueberry bushes, or they're more of a tap-rooted system like many nut trees and all. Each year, the root system is doing more and more work. And if there are the appropriate companion plants near these perennial plants, there's a dynamic interaction that helps to change the microbiome within the soil that's there. So that's a really wonderful advantage. But those root systems that get established there, they help to get good nutrient supply, mineral supply, and also getting good water supply because of their integration, more deeply integrated into the soil structure and the subsoil structure. And as a result, companion plants, if you choose the right companion plants next to those berry bushes or trees, whatever they may be, there's a dynamic interaction there. And if we have enough carbon source, we get the fungal elements and we can create a whole forest of really good berry producing, flower producing, nectar producing, pollen producing plants that can help the whole system, which will draw in all the beneficial insects, draw in the predators that will eat the harmful insects that are in your systems and all. So it can be really amazing and wonderful. But during the summertime and during the wintertime, planning and prepping are the things to be doing. During the very early spring, or before the snow comes and after the leaves have fallen off the trees, when the trees are dormant, when the berry bushes are dormant, that's the time to get them into the ground. Do your research, take pictures, write notes, find out everything that these plants need during the rest of the time. Now, I realize that this season's a little bit different because, boom, there's this big awareness. I need to be more resilient. The sustainability that we had 3 months ago is no longer possible because we're we're locked down. The resources that we typically got, they're in shorter supply, and there's some risks going out into the world. But this is an ideal time to plan. And if you're in the right part of the country now's the time potentially to get many plants into the ground, especially up here in the Northeast. We're in Zone 5A here. So I'll be digging up some gooseberries, some currants, some elderberries, raspberries, blackberries, those sorts of plants today, and getting them ready for a pickup tomorrow. And so that's one of the things I wanted to share with you, some of the benefits of the perennial plants. And a big benefit is once you plan things and you prep things and you're designing your small system, whether it's a living fence or a border wall, and you want to create habitat for other species, you want to provide food for the birds that are there, you want to bring in beneficial insects for your flowers or for your vegetable garden. You want to be growing herbs during the season. You want to be doing some canning of vegetables later on, so you want to have all these support perennials all around your garden area or around your front entrance, whatever it may be. Getting all those things planned out ahead of time is really super important. And I'd say dream big and make like a 5-year plan for your perennial plants. It can be very expensive. I suggest not getting too excited about picking up which I made this mistake, picking up at the box store like Lowe's or Home Depot or Walmart or Tractor Supply or Country Max, excuse me, these beautiful looking trees that are all leafed out, or some of them have flowers as well, and they're in small pots, and they're pretty good caliper, and they haven't been pruned all that well. In those situations, yes, and they're on sale, it's worth taking a shot. Well, they may not have the vigor in them to do all that they potentially could do, and they just don't thrive. You don't get the production off them. You don't get all of the benefits of those plants. So when you see these plants that are completely leafed out, what you want to do is get to the stores early when they're not on sale potentially, and see them before they bud out, and then going back and looking at them after they have budded out and they're on sale, and look at the difference, look at the structure. Are there crossing of limbs? And I'm not going to get into that whole thing right now, but just, I guess what I wanted to talk about was do your planning and preparation of your sites during the summertime and during the winter months, and for optimal chances, choose the right plants for your location wherever you are in the world and whatever side of the hill you're on, how much sun exposure there is. Some plants do really, really well in the shade. And so often I hear from people that they bought the things, they talked to somebody very knowledgeable at the nursery, they got them into the ground, and it's 4 or 5 years later and they just aren't as pleased. It doesn't look like someone else's, what they envisioned it happening. And the more planning and prep that you do beforehand, it may change your selection based on that information. So I just wanted to throw this out there. I'm going to go outside and do some digging up some plants and getting some other plants in the ground as well. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. If you found this video of value, please give us a thumbs up. Consider subscribing if you think this information is of value to you as well. Thanks so much for watching, folks, and have a great day. Bye-bye now.